this shit goes on. But it's just a little fruit pop. It's a fruit pop. It's a fruit pop.
Me up to break me down, to build me up again. They like, Hov, we need you back so we could kill your ass again. You know, it's like this thing, this love.
Hip-hop aficionados are well acquainted with artist rivalries, clashes that often ignite waves of rumors and speculation. Every move gets analyzed under a microscope. Lately, the spotlight has turned to two of the industry's most iconic figures, Jay Z and 50 Cent. As tensions between them escalate, fans and media alike are watching closely.
I will let you tell it.
No, you're
no,
the best.
I want you to tell it.
You really are the best. You're proving it here today. As much as I'm proving it, you proving it. You proving it. Yeah, that wasn't the thing. It wasn't, people say that. He lost $50 million. No, that's not even close to what happened to this dude. And until you understand what happened to the dude, you don't understand what happened. Like, no, not they offered him 50 million and he turned it down. Who gonna turn down 50 million? Now, I've had to turn down $50 million 4 times. 4 times. Just to protect my integrity and that virgin hole I was telling you about. Right. Cause P. Diddy be wanting to party. And you gotta tell him no. You got to tell him no. I did. I did. See, I got the receipts for everything I'm telling you. That's why I can say them so freely.
Can I need another one? You here, get your number.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
It all began when 50 Cent launched a direct jab at Jay Z during a recent interview. While reflecting on his own journey and the role of connections in the music industry, 50 Cent claimed that Jay Z's rise to the top was heavily influenced by his relationships with influential figures, Fa and Ba. He went further, suggesting that once Jay Z and Bob began dating, the accolades started pouring in. So much so that, figuratively speaking, even their children were winning Grammys without ever setting foot in a recording studio.
You made a comment, right, saying that you knew someone that went through Jimmy Henchman proffer agreement for a drug case. And the proffer agreement revealed that Jimmy Henchman, he could have walked away if he would have given up Diddy. What you mean by that?
Well, what happened is that they had 9 different sections with Jimmy Henchman regarding his proffer agreement. So that means the feds went in there 9 different times to talk to him. And in those sessions, they asked him, what do you know about Sean Puffy Combs or Sean Diddy Combs? I don't think it was Puffy at that time. It wasn't Diddy at the time. But what do you know about Sean John Puffy Combs having sex with underage boys? And you got to realize, and people never think about this, that Jimmy and his brother, I think they had the same charges. But his brother walked away from that, and Jimmy gets life without the possibility of parole, I think. Which is crazy. For any drug charge. Nobody should spend their life in jail for drug charges. And just drug charges. But I think they try to tie him to some murders or something like that. I don't know that to be for sure. But he shouldn't spend his life in jail for no drug charges. Not at all. So, but they was going to let him walk. If he'd have probably had to, for that proffer agreement, they probably let him walk. If he had any information regarding Puff having sex with underage boys. That the feds asked him in 2011. In 2011, brother. So what did the feds know? Because the feds not coming there unless somebody made a report or somebody made some allegations against Puff in 2011 to ask a friend of his, Jimmy Henchman, what do you know about that? But for them to ask him about that, it had to be more than a rumor. Somebody made a complaint somewhere. And the feds got hold to that complaint. Now they're going to investigate that complaint when they get people under the barrel, like they had Jimmy Hinch. That's why they asked him.
If he did know information, right, why you think he didn't tell?
Then they would ask, how do you know? And then it comes into play, whereas that if you know of anybody that's in danger in the welfare of a child, and you see that, and you don't report it, you're just as guilty as the person who does it.
While some may brush off 50 Cent's comments as simple trolling, there seems to be a deeper undercurrent of animosity between the two artists. Despite Jay Z's massive fame and fortune, 50 Cent has consistently taken shots at him over the years. He even recalled a backstage encounter at the American Music Awards where Jay Z allegedly made a sharp, pointed joke at his expense. Since then, fans of 50 Cent have speculated about the real reason behind his ongoing jabs, many convinced that he may have touched a nerve.
First and foremost, I just want to say, I know a lot of people want to hear these stories and everything like that, because this is stuff that happened back in the day. And then maybe that if they knew there was going to ever be a YouTube, or they knew there was going to ever be social media, a lot of the stuff probably wouldn't have got played out like it did. But things happen, and these are just stories from the past. I would like to use that as, what you call that, just to clear the facts up what's going on. But it all started, we was in Atlanta. And this story starts when I'm with Puff, and he's in exotic bookstores, and he's doing shopping, right? He's shopping, getting his stuff and everything like that. So, you know, this is the first time I was ever in an exotic bookstore with Puff. So, you know, I'm giving him his space. He's taking things off the shelves and stuff like that, because they gave him a brown paper bag. When they gave him a brown paper bag, he was just putting stuff in there. So I said, damn, you know, he got to go put it on the counter and, you know, show everybody what he's getting. So as he's going, I'm just looking at the places where he's picking stuff from. So there's one part he picked up some things from up here on my left side. And then he picked like quite a few of them down. I was like, okay. He put them in the bag. So when I went by there and I looked up there, and it said butt plugs. And I was like, hey, yo, I was messing with him, because people don't understand, you know, we was like friends. He was a part of the same gang. So I'm still going to tease him. I'm still going to mess with him and everything like that. I could do that. It wasn't just no security thing. So I say, yo, what are you getting this for? And it said butt plugs. And he was like, yo, can I do my shopping by myself? I said, yeah, you can do it by yourself, brother. And he started walking and everything like that. So when he got to, I just waited at the counter. So when he got to the counter, he didn't even have to show the guy nothing. He just gave the guy a wad of money. I mean, like, he gave the guy a stack, something like this. And Puff wasn't the dude that carried no 20s and no 50s and nothing like that. And I mean, like, he just said, boom. And we walked out the store. So we had to leave Atlanta and go to North Carolina for a show. You understand? And it was him, this rapper, Sarah, and this other girl. We all got on a G5.
Jay Z's fallout with Dame Dash, once his close friend and business partner, remains one of the most talked about controversies of his career. Their split sent shockwaves through the industry, prompting many to question Jay Z's loyalty and character. While his ascent to superstardom is undeniably remarkable, his apparent readiness to sever personal ties in pursuit of greater success shines a light on the ruthless, cutthroat nature of the entertainment world.
We all got on a G5 jet, and we flew to G4 jet, and we flew to North Carolina. So later on that, I think that afternoon, same day, this rapper and him, they all in the room together. You know, it's Sarah, the girl, Puff, and this dude, this rapper. So I'm hearing at the door and stuff like that. Like, yeah. So then next thing you know, somebody rang the doorbell. We had the presidential suite where we was at. So I opened the door and the dude said, yo, I'm here for my cousin. I said, who your cousin? And he said, Ja Rule. I said, well, he busy right now. He said, he busy doing what? I said, he with Puff. They're in the room. They busy. They don't want to be bothered. He said, well, I'm going in there. I said, bro, you ain't going in there because he told me they don't want nobody to be bothering them. He was like, yo, I don't care, man. I'm going in there. That bull like that. I said, yo, bro, Jesus Christ had to come down here and take the air out of my body before you get in that room right there. Watch. He tried to bum rush me. I grabbed his and threw him against the piano. When I threw him into the piano, Puff and Ja Rule runs out the room. Puff got his towel, Ja grabbing his towel, but they butt the naked. And so then Ja was like, yo, what's going on? Yo, Jay, that's my cousin. He know me well. And Puff was like, yo, Jay, what happened? I said, he tried to get in the room. I told him he couldn't get in the room. And he was like, Puff looked at Ja. He said, yo, Ja said, you ain't want to go in that room because there's a lot of freaking going on. So I was like, oh, he said it was a lot of freaking going on. So that was basically that story, man. You know what I'm saying? They went back in the room. Dude felt a certain kind of way and he left out. So I seen them at the concert the next day and they tried to, form up against me. But my man Frank was like, I told my man Frank, I was like, yo, Frank, put yourself in that position. Somebody trying to get in the room and Ja told you don't let nobody get in the room. What would you do? Now, y'all can do whatever y'all want to do, man. But I ain't taking no losses. He said, yo, you good. And that was it. Bro, when Ja said, you don't want to come up in there, a lot of freaky stuff is going on. You got to use your mind. What they was doing with those butt plugs.
Right. Yeah,
that was crazy. Yeah, it was real wild.
Beyond his feud with 50 Cent, Jay Z has often faced criticism for partnering with controversial figures, notably R. Kelly. While his talent and influence are beyond question, critics argue that he's compromised his integrity in pursuit of personal gain. On the other hand, his supporters maintain that his success is the result of sharp business instincts and strategic decision-making, not luck or opportunism.
Did you ever do anything with Tupac or no? Did you ever?
No. I saw him right before he passed, too. Yeah, that's crazy. Never worked with him, though.
What did Tupac do? He did gang-related Poetic Justice. Mm-hmm. He did Juice.
Mm-hmm.
And he did a couple other things. He did a basketball.
It's something with Jim Belushi. Remember he did the one thing?
Yeah. What did he do? Can you Above the Rim,
mm-hmm.
Poetic Justice with Janet Jackson, which I thought it was great.
Yeah, Bullet, I think is.
Oh yeah, gang related album soundtrack was actually good. I don't know if you've listened to the gang related soundtrack. It was
not in a minute. Not in a minute.
Yeah, it was a really good soundtrack.
Yeah.
Cuba, with all this stuff that's coming up with Diddy and you're on one end, 50 Cent is calling out Diddy and here's what he's doing and all this stuff, and they got the back and forth.
Yeah.
I got Suge on here.
Look at this example. Look what happened.
Yeah. And I got Suge on. Yeah, exactly. No question about it. What do you think's going on with all the stuff with Diddy, with Little Rod, with, all the stories that everybody's hearing about?
You mean in terms of what?
I mean, raiding his house being raided.
I mean, that's crazy. That's the craziest thing I'd ever. And then, hey, how about me? I wake up in the morning, I turn on the stage show, Hector Cuba Gooding Jr. I was like, excuse me, pull me into this. I think whatever he's dealing with, he's on his journey, man. I think that God has got him on a path where I can't imagine that he's stupid enough to do whatever he's doing and keep it on his premises. I think that the raid and all of that stuff, only time will tell who was involved, who had been a frequent guest in these places and areas. It's funny because my lawyers said, every outlet in the world wants to talk to you. And again, I'm like, I'm not defining myself from some headline in the press. So I stayed quiet. And it's so funny. So I'll tell you a little story about who my girlfriend is. She gave Robert De Niro 3 grandkids. Her name is Claudine De Niro. She married his son, Raphael. They separated and we've been together for a while. But she, at one point, ran Naomi Campbell's publicity. She, at one point, ran P. Diddy's publicity, right when he started doing the white party thing. Mm-hmm. He had just gotten freed from indictment, found not guilty. Did he? And he said to her, I'm going to die running with these niggas, man. I need you to help me with the white folks and the switch. And so she helped change, cultivate his new image. So they had a friendship for years. But I had never met him till probably 2019-20, just casually, Claudine and I. He invited us to his house. The pandemic was starting to ease.
As the feud between 50 Cent and Jay Z continues to simmer, many are left wondering what the future holds for these two industry titans. What's clear is that the tension is far from over, driven by a mix of personal resentment and intense professional rivalry.
And hadn't seen him since that night where this guy with this picture that says that I had my shoulder on him and all this stuff, making it look sordid. Well, that picture, everyone in the room, there's probably 300 of us on the deck of P. Diddy's, I'm going to show you, on P. Diddy's boat, New Year's Eve. I went from one ship, Happy New Year. So I hung out with Tyson and next ship, there's Drake. This ship had P. Diddy. He had his guy, his videographer. They're listening to music. And he says, hey, Cube, listen, you want to hear P. Diddy's new song? I said, yeah, sure. Sit down next to him. They didn't use this angle, which to me makes me laugh because I go, oh, I get it. You made it look the way you wanted it to look. But that, and if you hold it, you know how you hold it and it does the thing where, can you hear all the people? If you tap it or something, it's a live picture. You see what I mean? It's like, here we are just listening to music. Finished, took the thing off, said whatever I said to him, left. That was it. But this guy who's suing him went after the money, man. I'm sure. And by the way, I don't know P. Diddy's life. I don't know what he's going through. I don't know what the police are going to find on all of that.
Were you guys close? Were you guys friends or?
We were acquaintances, just like I just showed you. Yeah. 2-3 times I've seen him. So it's.
Oh, so Diddy, you've only seen him 2 or 3 times.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
So why would they include you all of a sudden in some way?
I think because of the darkness of the other grab of the cases that I already had went through.
Right. A lot of that stuff is 18 though, 19, right? Those are from 5-6 years ago. That's cases. Right. Yeah. Right. And that was that at the peak of the Me Too movement or was that pre-Me Too movement?
That's right. That's right when it kicked off. Yeah. Right. That was crazy.
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with, Diddy.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. But I did not know that you guys only hung out 2 or 3 times.
That's it, man.
And 50 was with you for your 56th birthday. I think you guys were hanging out together in Miami.
Yeah, because we were in St. Bart's on that boat. But then in Miami, which is where I run around now, of course. I ran into 50 and he was promoting his champagne. I've seen Drake 100 times around town. He loves Miami.
Yeah.
Yeah.
50.
I'm big with the rappers.
How do you feel about 50? How's 50 like?
It's so funny. I got a call from 50 who reached out to me and said, we got to uplift our black entertainers and let's work together. I said, great. So we'll see, I try not to voice any of my opinion when it comes to the rap songs because just like everybody else, I'm into that music, man.
Are you following the Lamar and Drake thing?
No, I just heard about that.
Yeah, got it. I mean, that's like a whole.
Somebody just got shot today outside of Drake's house.
I heard.
See that?
I heard.
So, I mean, it's like drive-by shooting in a gated community. I mean, that sounds a little crazy.
Yeah, Drake's security guard seriously injured in shooting at Toronto's mansion. Guard was shot inside Drake's home and had serious.
Fans remain captivated by 50 Cent's relentless scrutiny of Jay-Z's credibility and ethics. From questioning the legitimacy of his accolades to accusing him of turning his back on former collaborators, 50 hasn't pulled any punches. While some see these attacks as mere provocation, others believe they expose deeper systemic issues within the industry. One thing is certain. 50 Cent has been unapologetically vocal in his criticism of the rap icon.
But non-life-threatening injuries while the assailant fled in a vehicle.
Yeah, I say to them, just like I said to Tupac when I saw him in the lobby of that hotel in Chicago, he said, hey, man, help me, man, give me some advice. I said, hey, man, just remember your artistry first. I know you get caught up with all this madness, but you're an artist now. He said, thanks, Cube. He hugged me and he went off. And
how old was he at the time?
Well, 2-3 weeks later, he was gone.
Oh, no shit.
I saw him, and here's the second time I saw Tupac. This is a true story. Now, I don't like the conspiracy things. But that day, he was in a convertible, like Rolls Royce. He was at the stop site, and I was on a hockey tournament, so I was in Vegas as well, playing hockey, and Tyson had his fight. And I jumped out of the car, and I ran up to his car. Pac, it's Cube! And all three cars, all these cars, boom, 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 with the guns.
Get out.
No, that's Cube Good, man. Hey, that's Cube Good. And I go, oh, sorry, man. He goes, you good? I go, I'm good. I'm sorry, guys. Got in the car. So that happens that day when the sun's out, and at night they get shot and there's no cops around. That's a true story. I was involved in that.
So in the morning, few hours later, he's gone.
Yeah. Yes. And so where were all of those undercover cops that pulled the guns on me when I tried to approach him sitting in his car convertible?
What are you saying?
I'm just saying it's weird that they were going to blow me away, and I'm Academy Award winner. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, because that's 96. So
Yeah.
and 96, you're like everywhere.
I'm the man.
Yeah, you're the man in
They're like,
96.
we don't care. Get away. Back up.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
By the way, what did he pay you for, Jerry Maguire? I forgot to ask you earlier. Was that your big payday?
No, yeah, at that point, $600,000.
What's the biggest you made for a movie?
Oh, Snow Dogs. You know, I can't talk hell about Snow Dogs. Whoa, that was a good year. Well, that's 1-2 hit, baby. 13 million total that year.
Wow.
I made a lot
Get
of money.
out of here.
Yeah.
Good for you.
You know that money's gone.
Good.
I already spent that money.
Really?
Yeah, $13 million.
I understand.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you made some good investments.
I made some investments, yeah, but yeah, that money.
Hey, final.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast.
Pop rivalries often ignite endless speculation, but few have drawn as much attention as the ongoing clash between Jay Z and 50 Cent. It all started when 50 Cent, in a candid interview, claimed that Jay Z's rise to prominence was fueled more by powerful connections than raw talent. He pointed specifically to Jay Z's relationship with B.I., suggesting that once they began dating, the awards started pouring in. What many initially dismissed as typical 50 Cent trolling soon revealed deeper animosity. The rapper has openly mocked Jay Z's success and recounted a backstage incident at the American Music Awards where Jay Z allegedly made a pointed joke. A moment 50 claims struck a nerve. Adding fuel to the fire is Jay Z's infamous fallout with former friend and business partner Dame Dash. Their high-profile split sent shockwaves through the industry, sparking debates about Jay Z's loyalty and willingness to cut personal ties in pursuit of greater success. Critics further point to his collaborations with controversial figures like R. Kelly as evidence that he sometimes places ambition above principles. Yet his supporters argue that Jay Z's meteoric rise is no accident, crediting his calculated business decisions and strategic alliances, not mere luck or favoritism. Meanwhile, 50 Cent continues his relentless critique, casting doubt on the legitimacy of Jay Z's accolades and accusing him of abandoning those who once helped him climb. This feud has come to symbolize a deeper question in the music world. Is true success born of raw talent, or is it built through carefully leveraged relationships? As the tension between these two giants simmers, fans are left to ponder whether Jay Z's legacy stands as a testament to genuine artistry, or to the power of knowing the right people.
I was checking out one of your lives, right? And you made a comment and you said that you'd rather be poor than be Diddy rich. Can you elaborate on that?
Bruh, I told this to this one guy the other day. I'd rather have a slow nickel than a fast dollar any day. My slow nickel put bread on my table. My slow nickel pays my mortgage. My slow nickel brings me home to my family. My slow nickel builds a community. We see what the fast dollar does.
Being Diddy rich takes a guy that once name was Puffy, that after every tragedy he had in his life, he had to change his name. Puffy, Puff Daddy, Diddy, Brother Love, Love. Puffy, from the DC tragedy, went to when those kids was trampled over. I think 1 or 2 kids died at a function in DC that he gave. Puffy. City College. Puff Daddy. Diddy. Biggie. He comes name to Diddy. And now the allegations with Cassie and everything, he went from brother love to love. Being Diddy rich have you thinking you something that you're not. That you greater than what you're supposed to be and the people around you. When I say I'd rather be my poor with my peace of mind, with my own thoughts, my own community, my own love, with my family, than to be so rich that I'm thinking I'm something that I'm not. That's what they do, bro. Look how many times, who was that? You ever go to a club, it's a big shootout, and it was the Mirage, and then you come back 2 weeks later, now it's the Zone. They changed their name after every shootout. That's what happens.
Think about who you're supposed to be and the company you keep. I'd rather be poor with peace of mind, surrounded by my own thoughts, my community, my love, my family, than be so wealthy that I'm pretending to be someone I'm not. That's what they do, bro. How many times have you walked into a club only to see gunfire break out? It's all a spectacle. These words reflect a deeper truth behind 50 Cent's relentless critique of Jay Z. While Jay Z has conquered the charts and built a billion-dollar business empire, 50 Cent's commentary may stem from personal frustration and a sense of disillusionment with the industry. His public attacks could reflect not only rivalry, but also internal conflict, a struggle to define authenticity in a world where image often eclipses substance. Despite his own achievements, 50 Cent frequently finds himself in the shadow of artists like Jay Z, who possess broader mass appeal and cultural influence. This ongoing feud, watched closely by fans worldwide, may ultimately be about more than ego or controversy. At its core, it seems 50 Cent is fighting to cement his place in hip-hop's hierarchy and to reassert his relevance in a game that constantly evolves.
In the ad, right? Because of look, Jay Z and them was putting it together. Mm-hmm. So I think they still harbor some energy towards me.
You think you were purposely left out of the ad?
No.
Oh, okay.
I don't think. I think that they were saying the NFL had some issues with me that I don't know what those issues are. Like, what is the issue? You see what I'm saying? Like, and I with M, because like with Nori he had communication. He said, "Yeah, I talked to the big homie. He was saying to Jay, he was telling me, you know, the white boy wouldn't do the truth without 50."
I hit the homie, the big homie Jay Z, right? And I told him to come pull up on me. And he pulled up on me and he said,
right. And I'm like, that's when I start saying crazy stuff, because I look and I go, "Oh, that's your big homie," right? And so he imaged himself after a gay painter. The big homie want to look like a gay painter.
What are we talking about here?
We're talking about Basquiat. He wants to look like a gay painter.
Oh my God, I think I know where we're going with
So
this.
now look, what I'm saying to you is, look, when you start looking at, that's not mine, that's theirs, they're harping, right? But when you look at M is looking at the entire legacy.
Yeah.
The whole thing, like with M, Dre, and myself.
Their feud has evolved from subtle social media jabs to full-blown public confrontations, proving that when egos and reputations are on the line, there's rarely a clear end in sight. Whether they eventually bury the hatchet or let the tension escalate further, one thing is certain. This clash has already left a lasting mark on hip-hop. Only time will tell whether Jay Z and 50 Cent will reconcile, or if their rivalry will continue to intensify until one finally emerges as the definitive victor.